ones rely on volunteering, it's hard to sustain them. So online communities have grown recently, the so-called participative web or Web 2.0, which relies on user contributions. Basically, it is a framework or infrastructure which exists, but it doesn't require very much in maintenance. The content is provided by users themselves. And here I've put just some statistics. I'm not going to go through them, but these statistics show that already Web 2.0 is quite well entrenched in mainstream society. We have 1/3 of the population, of age population in Europe engaged. 70% of the younger population have posted to chat, news groups, and so on. In USA, similar picture. Asia as well, 25% even of their youth have experience in finding friends, for example, through social networks and so on. And the interesting thing is that women and girls are overproportionally active users. So here, online communities is area where women dominate, definitely. So it seems that women like to socialize, they like to communicate and to discuss issues. And so there is a good chance, for women to embrace such technology for linking together, for networking together. So I'll talk briefly about blogs. Probably most of you know about blogs. It's a website which allows you to easily post information, any text, pictures, video. So and because it's so easy to do it and it looks so nice, the blog tools allow you to create nearly a professional looking blog page, which is you don't need to know any programming. It has become very popular. Here are some examples, like 3 easy steps to create a blog on Blogger. And here is an example. You see quite well looking, like commercial looking result for somebody who isn't a programmer at all. So it's extremely popular. Many people are writing regularly blogs. They have their own audiences who read their blogs, subscribe to their blogs, and comment and so on. So this is a very interesting way of connecting because it allows a very personal own perspective. The only problem is that you need to know about a blog in advance. Of course, there are search engines for blogs, there are recommenders for blogs, so it's possible to find blog which relates to you, but then pretty much it's one person's blog, right? So, and this person writes about whatever they fancy. They may write something which is not very interesting for you. There is no particular theme or topic, even though there are some bloggers who keep a particular theme or topic in their blogs. So inspired by this idea of blogs, which creates a personal kind of a viewpoint, we decided to create a site which allows many people to blog at the same place on a particular theme. And we designed a social networking. I'm not going to talk about social networking sites because I think I'm running out of time. You are probably all familiar with Facebook or LinkedIn for maintaining professional connections and finding people. But what I want to talk about is a website, a community for women in science and engineering to share personal stories. Now, like blogs, they allow to share just anything you want, like any something which, like a diary, whatever happened to you, and it allows you both to express an opinion, but also to vent out frustration, to share happiness from success. So like a diary of professional life. It doesn't need to be regular. It may be just once or a couple of times. So it takes away the burden, of maintaining a blog regularly. You can post whenever you feel like this. And because many people post there are many different stories of all kinds, like good and bad ones and so on. So reading these stories will allow people to have a good knowledge of potential role models. They can connect later to those people and perhaps become mentors or find mentors among the posters in this. It gives a different perspective rather than kind of the official profile of blogger or of role model in a role model website. So it kind of shows also the scoop and the dirty laundry, something which you wouldn't show normally in a formal kind of presentation. But I think this is very important because there is reality to the life of a science engineer or academic, which needs to be shared so that people know what they're getting into beforehand. In addition, it will allow like-minded women to find each other because they might not be able to find somebody who is like-minded in their immediate working environment. And finally, even I think that would be an advantage for non-native English speakers to give them a chance by sharing a story and reading stories to practice their English skills. Before going to a conference, like in a more informal environment. So here is what our site looks like. It's called Wise Tales. Wise from Women in Science and Engineering, but it's also for wisdom, right? Wise Tales. If you log in, you can submit your own story. In order to submit a story, you have to create an account. It can be a pseudonymous account. You can create an alias and post under alias, or you can choose to post under your own name. It's like blog. You have a calendar. You can see when stories were posted. You can see the monthly archives. You can tag stories, and you can find stories by clicking on tags. Currently we have something like 12 stories only, and we're trying to grow it. So some questions. Participation, as we know, is a very precious commodity. How many websites have started? How many discussion forums even have started? And then nobody uses them. After a week of enthusiasm, like it all goes down. So will busy academic women, for example, or professional women have the time to post stories on such a website? What kind of incentive can we build into such software? Would just showing how women build relationships help? Showing who reads your posts, for example, or who comments on your posts. Will this help? Building reputation or glory in the community, visualizing who has contributed how much. Will this help? Giving, for example, moderator power, just like Slashdot does, to active users. Will this help to motivate people to participate more? Or, for example, earning real world rewards. Like, for example, you can get credits towards free registration to a Women in Science and Engineering conference. Finally, other whole bunch of interesting issues is related to privacy. Now, we expect that women will be sharing some very private experiences and sometimes negative experiences in such a community. Will women trust to share such stories? Will they trust that their identity will be preserved and it will not be shared further? So if we allow for anonymity, how do we support a community? So these are all interesting questions which we are out to explore now. I have a student, her name is Zina Sahib, who is working on this project right now. And I'm interested to know from all of you, would you participate in such a website? Please visit it and think and let me know. My email is jiv@cs.usask.ca. Unfortunately, I forgot to write it down, but if you search for Julita Vassileva, you will find me. And here are some links to our Wise Tales community, also about my chair for women in science and engineering, the statistics which I started with for Canada and Europe are also listed here. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very successful conference.